Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jai Gaura Premanande, Jai Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotva Sattva Shri Srimad Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Grantha Raja Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamatirayet Nashta Prayeshva Patreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Uttama Shlokir Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, entitled The Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 31, Text 21. Napajati ko Manishinam Sachiyam Saicham. Okay. Maybe we do word for word first. It's a little bit complicated. Nabhachati Kumanisinam Saityam Nabhachati Kumanisinam Saityam Harir Adhanatma Tanapriyo Rasakya Harir Adhanatma Tanapriyo Rasakya Shrutathana Kulakarmanam Maderye Shrutathana Kulakarmanam Maderye Vidathati Papam Akinchaneshu Satsu Vidadhati Papam Akinchaneshu Satsu. Okay. Let's try. Nabhachati Kumani Sinam Saicham Nabhachati Kumani Sinam Saicham. Yes, we do call and response. Harir Attanatmatana Priyo Rasakya Shrutadana Kula Karmanam Maderye Vidadhati Papam Akinchaneshu Satsu Nabhachati Kumani Sinam Saicham Harir Attanatmatana Priyo Rasakya Shrutathana Kula Karmanam Materye Vidadhati Papam Akinchaneshu Satsu. Okay. Would like to try? Nabhachati Kumani Sinam Saicham Harir Adhanatmadana Priyo Rasakya Shrutadana Kula Karmanam Maderye Vidadhati Papam Akinchaneshu Satsu Nabhachati Kumani Sinam Saicham Harir Adhanatmatana Priyo Rasakya Shrutadhana kula karmana matmaderye. Vidadhati papam akinchaneshu satsu. Na bhajati kumani sinam saichyam. Harir adhanatma dana priyorasagya. Shrutadana kula karmanam materye. Vidatati papam akinchaneshu satsu. Na bhajati kumani sinam saichyam. Harir athanatma dana priyorasagya. Shrutadhana kula karmanam materye. Vidatati papam akinchaneshu satsu. Okay. Word to word translation. Na, never. Bhajati, accepts. Kumani sinam, of persons with a dirty heart. Saha, he. Ichyam, offering. Harihi, the Supreme Lord. Adhana, to those who have no material possessions. Atmadhana, simply dependent on the Lord. Priyaha, who is dear. Rasakya, who accepts the essence of life. Shruta, education. Dhana, wealth. Kula, aristocracy. Karmanam, end of fruitive activities. Madai, by pride. Ye, all those who. Vidadhati, perform. Papam, disgrace. Akinchaneshu, without material possessions. Satsu, unto the devotees. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes very dear to those devotees who have no material possessions, but are fully happy in possessing the devotional service of the Lord. Indeed, the Lord relishes the devotional activities of such devotees. Those who are puffed up with material education, wealth, aristocracy, and fruitive activity are very proud of possessing material things, and they often deride the devotees. Even if such people offer the Lord worship, the Lord never accepts them. Please repeat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes very dear to those devotees who have no material possessions, but are fully happy in possessing devotional service of the Lord. Indeed, the Lord relishes devotional activities of such devotees. Those who are puffed up with material education, Yeah, please repeat if you can. Wealth, aristocracy, and fruitive activity are very proud of possessing material things, and they often deride the devotees. Even if such people offer the Lord worship, the Lord never accepts them. Purport: the Supreme Personality of Godhead is dependent on His pure devotees. He does not even accept the offerings of those who are not devotees. A pure devotee is one who feels he does not possess anything material. A devotee is always happy in possessing the devotional service of the Lord. Devotees may sometimes appear materially poor, but because they are spiritually advanced and enriched, they are most dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such devotees are freed from attachment to family, society, friendship, children, and so on. They abandon affection of all these material possessions and are always happy in possessing the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. The Supreme Personality of Godhead understands the position of his devotee. If a person derides a pure devotee, he is never recognized by the Lord, by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, the Supreme Lord never excuses one who offends a pure devotee. There are many examples of this in history. A great mystic yogi, Durvasa Muni, offended the great devotee Ambarish Maharaj. The great sage Durvasa was to be chastised by the Sudarshan Chakra of the Lord. Even though the great mystic directly approached the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was never excused. Those on the path of liberation should be very careful not to offend a pure devotee. End of purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swavadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttavada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakrachatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandhu Shabha Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Manchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Dino, kannst du mir Devotion Sun, Nectar of Devotion geben? Lesen wir jeden Morgen Nectar of Devotion.
Steht nicht alle hinter bitte? Danke, das ist.
Danke. So in this verse, the Prachetas are or in this chapter. Who is speaking this verse? Huh? Narada Muni, okay. Narada Muni is saying how a devotee, because he is not attached to any material things, when he is free from all those possessions, then he becomes very happy, because because he he can fully focus, fully concentrate on devotional service. And on the other hand, a person who is very attached to his material possessions and aristocracy and knowledge, etc., will be very proud, and even if he offers some service, if he gives some money to Krishna, Krishna is not very much pleased, because often that whatever such persons give is not coming from the heart, it's not given with devotion. There's usually some material motivation that comes along with it. Bhakti Vinas Nrsimha Maharaj was sharing how often pious people, rich pious people, they want that their name is very big somewhere. If they give some donation, they want that their name is listed, that this temple was built by such and such person, or in the name of this person. And like some of the temples in India, they're actually called according to the name of the person who built it, rather than according to the name of the person who is being worshipped. Like this temple is called Krishna temple because Krishna is being worshipped. But somebody who is materially minded, he will come and put his name, Mr. Miller temple or something like this, and then you have deities inside. You can have darshan, but but really, who is in the center is the person who built it. So, now Krishna is not very much pleased by such a service. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a story where Krishna and Balaram, they challenged Jarasandha for battle. And then Jarasandha, being very proud of his position, he said, you are just boys, you're coward boys, and because of your relations to the Kurus, we have given you facilities, royal facilities, and now you have become proud and you want to challenge us. So usually, whatever fault we have in the heart, we tend to see in others. So Jarasandha was being proud, and then he was pointing out pride in the Krishna. But of course, Krishna is the owner of everything, so it is actually by the mercy of Krishna that persons like Jarasandha and anyone else can use any kind of opulence. That is all coming from Krishna. And we have the story of Dhritarashtra, who rejected the advice of Krishna before the battle that he should not be so miserly due to the attachment to his sons, Duryodhana and the other 99 sons, and he should be equal to his sons and the sons of Pandu. And Dhritarashtra understood that Krishna was correct, but he admitted that he was too attached to his sons, so he ignored this advice. And then we have this verse in the Bhagavad Gita, I believe, where it says that the person who is too much attached to material enjoyment, he never becomes determined in devotional service. Mahakrishna Prabhu. Which verse is this? The person too much attached to material enjoyment doesn't become determined in devotional service. Okay. Yeah, I'm not very good with learning shlokas. But this verse is there, and I'm sure that we can, from our personal experience also. Bhogeshwari Prasaktanam. Okay. So Haribo Vayasayatmika Bhutir. So yeah, person doesn't become focused in his determination to serve Krishna. And we may have some experience, personal experience, that whenever our attention wanders to material things, what will I do in my future, and how should I maintain myself, and how to deal with my relatives and make sure everybody is happy, then naturally our attention towards Krishna usually becomes diminished. So we only have one mind, and somehow we have to decide how we use our mind. And we can only think of one thing at the same time. And then we know from the Nectar of Devotion that, from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that pure devotional service is uninterrupted and unmotivated. So, because we come from some of us may have been practicing devotional service for several lifetimes, and some may be a little bit more new to the process. But generally it is difficult to, immediately practice pure devotional service uninterrupted and unmotivated. Usually we come with some mixed motive. So there are 4 pious kinds of people who come to Krishna consciousness. The distressed person, somebody who is distressed from material nature, because material nature is always giving us trouble. And then the person who is looking for some material benefit. And Krishna is advising that whoever has, if you have material desires or you have spiritual desires, no problem, you come to me. So Krishna is accepting both of these people. And the third person is inquisitive person, maybe somebody who has a very intellectual mind, and they want to understand different religions, so they come and they also read Bhagavad Gita. And then there's the person who is looking for the absolute truth, so he may also have been reading many different books, and then he comes and reads the Bhagavad Gita. But all of these 4 people, eventually, they need to develop the understanding that what the goal is of Krishna consciousness, or what the goal is of the Bhagavad Gita, what it's trying to tell us. And if we simply remain on the platform of, I'm here because I feel sheltered, because the material world is not giving me trouble, or because here I get nice food, here I get I can live for free. Sometimes in India, living in the ashram is like living in the palace from the point of view of life in India. Some people in India, they live in very inconvenient circumstances, living maybe in a small apartment with 10 other family members, and then they come and join the temple, live in the ashram, and they get free food, they have little bit service, they don't have to worry about maintaining themselves and anyone else. So that can be a mixed motive, and there may be other situation here, maybe a little bit different, but in the same way we have to introspect what is our motive. And pure devotional service is the pure devotional service is a process. So naturally, it naturally it takes time for those material motives to gradually wash away. And if we follow this process nicely, then eventually we progress through these different stages of bhakti. So, and what is the process? Process is Nasta Preshu Patreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloker Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. By regularly attending Srimad Bhagavatam class or studying Srimad Bhagavatam and serving the pure devotee or pure devotees, whatever is troublesome to the heart is gradually removed. So what is troublesome to the heart is anarthas, unwanted things in the heart. And what are the unwanted things? Is all the material contaminations, which are of four kinds. There are anarthas arising from sinful activities. There are anarthas arising from pious activities. And there are anarthas arising from offenses. And anarthas arising from imperfectly performed devotional service. So, these things that are troublesome to the heart, which are almost completely destroyed, they are the two first types of anarthas. So if one takes sincerely to this service of Srimad Bhagavatam and the pure devotees, then one gradually loses attachment to all kinds of sinful activities and also pious activities. Pious activities so and then generally it's said that one comes to the platform of Nishtha, so that's actually already very advanced. And one has already passed through the stage of Bhajana Kriya and Anartha Nivritti. So that's already very advanced. And recently one devotee, he entered into the sannyas ashram, and his spiritual master said, so now you have reached the platform of Nishtha. And because when you reach the platform of sannyas sannyas means platform of Nishtha. been fixed in determination, fixed in devotional service, free from attachments to sinful and pious activities, and only interested in Krishna consciousness. That is Nishtha. But most of us, or most of the time that we spend in Krishna consciousness, is usually in the stages of Bhajana Kriya and Anartha Nivritti. These are the most difficult stages to go through. Bhajana Kriya means to become, to take up the sadhana of Krishna consciousness, chanting japa, studying Srimad Bhagavatam, attending temple program, worshipping the deities. So, and these activities, they need to be performed on a regular basis. That's the meaning of sadhana. And there is unsteady Bhajana Kriya and steady Bhajana Kriya. So once one becomes steady in this bhajan or sadhana, then one becomes ready to work on those anarthas. And we may, there is already something happening as soon as one takes to Krishna consciousness, but a lot of these anarthas, they actually just get pushed away. And we may think, okay, I'm already practicing pure devotional service, but the reality is that these things are still there. They're still hidden. And we have to persist in our practice so that eventually one by one of these anarthas will come to the surface and we will be able to face them when they come. And if we are not able, then okay, then we will bounce back to Bhajana Kriya, no problem. And how do these anarthas come to the surface? Is usually through interactions with devotees or non-devotees. Often devotees say that on Sankirtan is a very good exercise to interact. You interact a lot with different people, and if you pay attention, then you may hear Krishna speaking through different people to you. So, just like when Srila Prabhupada went to the doctor, this drunk person gave him the advice that he should go for a walk sometimes. Drunk doctor said, the old man is praying too much, he should do some exercise. So if we are introspective and pay attention, and then we can hear Krishna's voice, and we are able to face those different anarthas within us. And there is, a couple of days ago, we read in the Nectar of Devotion, very nice verse. Actually, a pure devotee does not aspire after any of these perfections. Talking about religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and even the attainment of liberation from material existence. So a pure devotee does not aspire after any of these perfections, because the happiness derived from devotional service in Krishna consciousness is so transcendental and so unlimited that no other happiness can compare to it. It is said that even one drop of happiness in Krishna consciousness stands beyond comparison with a notion of happiness derived from any other activity. Thus, any person who has developed even a little quantity of pure devotional service can very easily kick out all the other kinds of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. So if we have some of these desires, then we need to go a little bit deeper in our Krishna consciousness, and then we can kick out all those desires. And we have many examples in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam of great devotees and how they gave up all desire for material success. There's Srivas Thakur, who was fully engaged in devotional service of the Lord, and he was a householder, he was a grihastha. So sometimes, like Maharaj pointed out, sometimes the grihasthas say that, oh yes, sannyasis, brahmacharis, devotees living in the temple, you can, for you it's very easy. Yes, it's true. That is very true. It's a great privilege that we are in the temple and we are able to. It's more easy for us to engage in these activities in the Panchanga Bhakti process. But even, but great devotees like Srivas Thakur, who had a family, he was able to engage in pure devotional service. And Lord Chaitanya asked him, how do you maintain yourself? You don't go to work, you don't do any business, and you're always chanting kirtan. So Srivas Thakur said that he clapped 3 times in his hands, and he explained that if there is no food on the first day, then he claps, and no food on the second day, he claps again, no food on the third day, he claps again, and if there is still no food, then he would drown himself in the Ganges. And then Lord Chaitanya said, he was very pleased, and he said that even if for some reason the goddess of fortune has to go empty-handed one day, you will never have to worry about anything. You'll never have to worry about your sustenance. So he's just giving an example that if one is really so surrendered, like Srivas Thakur, then there is no, then Krishna will provide everything. Of course, Srivas Thakur is one of the Panchatattva, and you may say that, okay, yeah, he's pure devotee, and often we see everything very separate. We're very separatist. Sometimes we think, oh yes, Srimad Bhagavatam has nothing to do with us. Like, okay, we can learn from it, but these are some historical personalities. But they're examples for us to follow, actually, and or to aspire to, at least. I remember one devotee saying, one devotee who is also a grihastha, and he is actually chanting 64 rounds every day. And he travels around. So he was saying that somehow or another we have to plan our life that eventually we will be engaged 24/7 in Panchanga Bhakti. So what is Panchanga Bhakti? It is the 5 primary processes or 5 primary activities of devotional service directly related to Krishna. Hearing and discussing Srimad Bhagavatam and other pastimes of Krishna, the teachings of Krishna. That's one process. Bhagavat Shravan. Then there is Nama Kirtan, chanting the holy name of Krishna. Then there is Sri Shrataya Murti Seva. I always mix it up. With faith, worshipping the deities, worshipping the deity form of Krishna. Living in a holy place, that includes any place where Krishna is worshipped. So be it Vrindavan, Mayapur, or any temple. Srila Prabhupada said one time in New Vrindavan, he said, you devotees never need to go to Vrindavan. You don't need to go to Vrindavan. You can stay here. This place is none different of Vrindavan. So the devotees were a little bit sad. But then Prabhupada said, but you can go, once a year or so, you can go for a few days. No problem. But we can develop this understanding that there's no need, actually, to go anywhere. If Krishna is there, then that is none different from Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada also, he was an example of someone who lost everything. So in Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada is sharing from his personal experience that when Krishna bestows great favor upon the devotee, it gradually takes away everything. And the devotee desperately tries to reinstate his position by doing so many things, trying to re-establish his business etc. Trying to put himself back into a secure material position. But eventually he gives up everything and he just surrenders to Krishna. Just like Queen Draupadi was first trying to hold on to her sari, and eventually she just fully surrendered. So Prabhupada said that first Krishna took everything away from me. He gave his mercy by first taking away everything from me, and then he gave his mercy by giving me everything. Krishna gave Prabhupada so many disciples to help him in his mission, and he gave him so much opulence, so much money and facilities for his service. So this is an example that if we are fixed in our determination to use everything in Krishna's service, then Krishna will give more and more. Hare Krishna. One question or comment?
A question. You say not talking about religion. What does it mean?
A devotee gives up religiousness, yes, economic development, sense gratification. So generally in the Vedic concept there is the understanding of 4 purposes of life, or 4 goals of life, which is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma means religiousness in the sense of material religiousness, in the sense of being pious, giving charity, visiting the temple also, performing sacrifices, but for personal needs, not for service to Krishna. So they may do some service, but it's for their personal benefit. I'm putting some money and I hope that Krishna will give me more money back, like this. That is material religiousness. And so Dharma, Artha, then economic development, like doing business. In order to do economic development properly, one needs to be pious. Is a prerequisite. Of course, demonic people they do business in a cheating way. They try to cheat people out of their money, try to give them something which they actually don't need, or something that will break very fast, or just steal the money somehow by hook or crook. But this kind of economic development is counterproductive. They will eventually they will have to pay for this, because they are using up they're building up their karmic debt. So eventually they have to pay everything back. So in order to sustainably attract money, one has to be pious, one has to be religious. And then as a result of the economic development, one can have sense gratification. Nice food, nice house, ornaments, nice clothing, and cars and everything. And then eventually one should, when one becomes older, and one realizes, okay, I had everything, now I can renounce and I can go to the heavenly planets, or I can enjoy more. Yes. But ideally a person becomes intelligent and starts to think about liberation. So of course there are different types of liberation, but the fundamental principle is there is no happiness in the material world. So one should come to this realization, and then think about liberation. And what is being said here in the Nectar of Devotion is a devotee gives up all these 4 interests for these 4 goals, because he understands that his understanding is already beyond this, that actually the goal is not to be religious, the goal is not to be wealthy, the goal is not to have sense gratification, even not to be liberated, but only to serve Krishna. So, Hare Krishna. Does that answer the question? Thank you. Nice question. Okay. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Sundar Jagannatha Prabhu ki jai.
Sampai Bhakti Vrinda ki jai.
Ja, hast du gesehen, ja.
We came from India
Oh, that's obvious.
and going back to India now. Have a
Oh,
flight at 10:30.
oh, okay. Have a good travel. Thank you for visiting.
He calls us.